There were two big headlines in the news every programmer needs to know about right now. The first headline was that AI just crushed humans at the ICPC World Finals. That's basically like competitive coding Olympics. It got a perfect score, it beat every human team on the planet, and it did basically through its generic one shot of GPT-5. Crazy. The second headline is that one Polish developer barely managed to eke out a win over AI in Tokyo, and it might be the last human victory we ever see over AI in competitive programming. So yeah, we're basically living in the exact moment that AI really crosses that chasm to become better at humans than coding. Now I know what you're thinking. My cursor instance basically dropped my DB yesterday. How does this even affect me? Fair point. Let's take a closer look. So let me first explain what ICPC actually even is, because this isn't some weekend hackathon where people show up with energy drinks and no deodorant. I mean, there's definitely no deodorant, but it's not a hackathon. So the ICPC World Finals is where the most hyper-focused programmers on the planet go to compete and test themselves. We're talking teams of 3, 12 questions, 5 hours total, and only 1 box of Soylent per team. The problems are really hard. Like, these aren't just LeetCode hard. These are really the real deal. They literally have commentators for this, like actual sports commentary. I mean, it's basically like the coding autist Olympics. I'm sure contestants all take the train there. I can't say shit like that. Okay, for the first time in ICPC history, AI didn't just compete, it won the whole thing. So OpenAI's performance was perfect score. It solved all 12 problems and it one-shotted 11 of them. First attempt. It used just general models like GPT-5, not some specialized model. Google's AI only solved 10 problems. Bearish. The best human team managed 11 out of the 12 problems. Before we move on, I want to take a second to really appreciate these guys that spent years of their life preparing for something like this and doing exceptionally well. It's scary though that people like that can get one-shotted by a generic model that can't even count the number of R's in strawberry. But here's where it gets interesting. Right before this, there was another competition in Tokyo, the AdCoder World Tour Finals, and somehow this guy named Psycho, that's actually what they call him, I'm not making that up, he won it all over the AI. So this Polish developer named Psycho, but his actual name is that, managed to beat OpenAI's custom model by 9.5%. So this dude competed for 10 hours straight with basically no sleep. Sam Altman even tweeted about him after, congratulating him. But here's the thing, AI kind of solved chess years ago. I mean, it beat the best world champions, and honestly, I don't feel like it did that much. Like, we talked about it for a week and then we kind of moved on. So what does this actually mean for us? The reality is that AI just proved it can handle some abstract problem solving that underlies a lot of math problems. The nuance is that your job is not a coding competition. You're not solving algorithmic puzzles. You're translating vague business requirements into actual business logic while managing stakeholder expectations and explaining why make it pop more is not reasonable feedback. But the core problem-solving abilities that AI demonstrated are absolutely applicable to real-world problems, so it's nothing to sneeze at. Here's what I think is happening. We're moving away from an era where lines of code written was a major bottleneck, because now you can quickly write lines of code anywhere, but at the end of the day, it's only important to write the right lines of code. Did you know the median YouTube video has 0 views? I mean, there are billions of songs on Spotify with 0 listens. There was never a shortage of songs or videos. There's always been a shortage of good songs and good videos. There's never been a shortage of lines of code either. There's always been billions of trillions of lines of code, but it's the right lines of code that make the right business. The developers that thrive are not going to be the ones that are out algorithming the AI. I mean, not all of us can be Psycho. So let's talk about what the model still can't do, because I mean, yeah, AI can solve isolated problems, but throw a real production code base at it and it will drop it, actually. Different story entirely, right? We all know that. So here's what happens when AI meets actual enterprise code. So firstly, there's a lot of context limitations, right? Most AI models only see about 100,000 to 200,000 tokens at once, best case scenario. And that's maybe 5% of a medium-sized code base. Even then, they deteriorate really quickly when you push them to their limits. Imagine having to refactor an entire system and only being able to look at one file at a time through a keyhole. This will obviously improve over time, and there are some semantic search capabilities, but it's still a huge limitation. Cross-system dependencies, like real applications are not isolated puzzles. They're interconnected nightmares of database schemas that evolved over a decade, third-party APIs without outdated documentation, microservices that somehow all depend on each other in a circular loop, and then that one critical bash script that no one understands but will break without it. It's not even obvious you can fit all necessary information into a code base, because it's not clear to me that most organizations even have all their information in a code base. It's scattered across many code bases, and there are decades of legacy knowledge that are built up in engineers' heads that are really important. Applications have edges. The AI can't interpret or guess what's on the other side of that edge. Business logic versus pure logic. AI is logic logical. But understanding why the billing system calculates tax differently for customers who signed up on Tuesdays in February, or why there's a hard-coded exception for a customer that signed up in 2018, that requires understanding of the human chaos, not the algorithmic chaos. And it's not clear that these AIs are good at tagging in and looping in people to answer those questions in the first place. I mean, at least not yet. I think all this stuff is going to get exponentially better. The hidden state problem. Production systems have state everywhere. Cache layers, message queues, session storage, that random Redis instance someone set up and forgot about, and config files scattered across 17 different services. One time I caused an outage because I deleted an old blob storage called testing, and guess what? It wasn't testing. AI sees your code and it suggests just refactor this function, not knowing it'll break the cache that this testing only DB is integral to for everything except testing, ironically. It's almost like it's doing static analysis on it. Like, if static analysis was so exceptionally good, why would we need log statements in the first place? Here's the thing. ICPC problems have clearly defined inputs and outputs, right? Real systems have race conditions that only happen under load at 3 a.m. and memory leaks that take, 3 days to manifest. AI may have crushed humans at the coding Olympics, but I think all of us kind of intrinsically know that it's got these huge major limitations just from using it, right? It's just, there's something off there. It's not there yet. It needs to work with people. There's just too much business importance and context inside of people's heads. The question isn't whether AI is going to change how we work. I mean, it already has. People are adapting quickly to work alongside these systems. It can outthink us in specific domains and problems. We just need to provide the context, the direction, and of course, the quality control. The coding Olympics might be over for humans, but just like how we all love watching Magnus Carlsen shoving a cheating device up his ass, I can't say stuff like this. Chess is solved with AI, but I have a feeling that's not really going to change that much. Before you go, I wanted to tell you about my new project, Neutron. You can go to getneutron.com and try it out. It's a desktop AI assistant that basically sees your screen and knows everything you're doing and working on, and it helps you write things 10 times faster. So you can just ramble to your computer and say, can you do this? And it'll just do it for you. It'll write things for you, it'll integrate with your apps, and you can basically use your entire computer and control all your apps through just voice. You open a Google Doc and just ramble into it. It'll just write into the Google Doc for you. If you open an email and ramble, it'll write the email for you. If you want to set a reminder on your calendar, you just say it. And this is all from one button click. Please give it a try and let me know. And thank you so much for watching this video, and I'll catch you in the next one.